Good morning, beloveds. So one of the things that I started doing when I was doing these live streams is I started gender neutraling things. And I do that for two reasons. One, as a woman, I get tired of saying man and he and him and all of that. So, but I don't necessarily want to say woman. So I'm like, well, gender neutral. And two, because I understand that we are an open and inclusive group, that there are people who may be non-binary, who do not, and so I gender neutral for people who don't identify as man or woman. And I get that. So today, which is April 3rd, and we're in the new book, The Courage, Conviction, and Consciousness. Well, so our reading today is by Grace L. Faus, and it was published in Grace and Truth in 1985. The title is What is Man? If you read my title, when you clicked on it, it says, What are people? Because I'm going to gender neutral it. I don't want to talk about man. I want to talk about people. All right, so April 3rd. As I said, I'm gender neutraling it. So if I bump, then that's why. It's me trying to figure out how to gender neutral a sentence. So the title is, What are people? What are people? What is the power which has made them a little lower than angels, that has given them dominion over all creatures, or all creation? Having personally experienced this great universal power, inspired people of old have named it Jehovah, Allah, Brahma, God. Jesus called this universal power Father. I and my Father are one, he stated. The Father in me, he doth the work. Of mine own self, I can do nothing. Okay, yes, I'm directly quoting Jesus. Therefore, if I was going to say it, I'll tell you that in a minute. Whenever it may please us to call it, whatever it may please us to call it, it is this supreme power that unifies the universe and all of humankind, making all one with all. We call this supreme power omnipresence, truth, God, God being synonymous with good. This omnipresent good we call God has given people of their spirit, of its spirit. Individual people have been given the inherencies, the qualities of God. People have intelligence. People have consciousness. Okay, and like I said, that is Grace, I think that's an L, Faus, Faus. And it was published in Grace and Truth in 1985. There's actually a page number. It's 175, 176 if you want to look it up. Now, I went ahead and quoted Jesus the way Jesus is quoted, because that is what Jesus said, that Jesus is the product of his time. I am a product of my time, and I'm also obstinate and stubborn. Therefore, so if I were going to say the phrases that Jesus said, I would say, I and the Spirit are one. The Spirit is in me. It does the work. Of mine own self, I can do nothing. Because it is a reminder, it is a direct reminder. And we talk about this frequently, that Jesus was the great example. Not the great exception, but the great example. Jesus didn't say, I have the power and only I can do these things. No, Jesus said the power comes through me. The power comes from God. And if you look at all of spiritual traditions all throughout the world, everybody has a different name for God, including us. We call it the omnipresence. And Emma Curtis Hopkins called it good. But they all mean the same thing. They all mean the same thing. Especially if you look, people get weird about the Muslim name Allah, but all Allah means is Father. It means God. So, it's like, translate the language. But this is what Jesus said, because there's another passage later on in there where Jesus is explaining all of these things that I do, you shall do and more. So Jesus is reminding us, one, he's not the exception. He is an example. And that he is not the one performing the miracles. The power coming is not coming from him. It's coming through him, which means that each and every one of us who are children of this God, of this good, because we are made by, and she says that, where was that line? Whatever it may please us to call it, it is this supreme power that unifies the universe and makes all of humankind, making all one with all. This omnipresent good we call God has given people of its spirit. So we are individualized centers of that spirit. So the individual people have been given the inherencies and qualities of God, which is what we are constantly talking about in Science of Mind. It's like, look, God made you, and God made you of itself. That means that any quality that exists in God, all of them, joy, peace, harmony, good, love, exist in you. Therefore, you have the ability to call forth those qualities in yourself. Now, is it easy? Maybe not. Have you been practicing? Well, if no, then that's what you need to do. Practice calling forth these qualities in you because they exist in you. We talk about the Christ consciousness, each and every one of us. I talk about it like software, really, honestly, because if you think about it, this is hardware and the Christ consciousness is the software. It's the software that runs us. Well, we all come pre-installed with that software. We're born with it. Jesus said as much. It's like, look, we all come with it. Well, how do you access it? Well, the access, I like to say the password is love. When we learn to love ourselves and to love each other and to love all of creation, well, the Christ consciousness is easy, but it takes practice, which is why we call each other practitioners. That's why when you talk to ministers in Science of Mind are practitioners first. Okay? And we do a lot of practicing daily. That's what this is, practice. And then we put our own spins on it, like i.e., I looked at this title and went, nope, not going to do this. It is what it is, right? We got to practice. So I'm going to remind you of what Jesus said, because she's quoting him here, literally. And I will tell you, I do have a little bit of an issue with the word dominion. What are people? What is that power which has made people a little lower than angels? Quote, that has given them dominion. I think that we can get a little weird with the word dominion. I prefer, personally, the word stewardship, because stewardship implies care of. We were given care of all creation. I just didn't want to let that one pass. All right, so let's go back. Having personally experienced this great universal power, inspired people of old have named it Jehovah, Allah, Brahma, God. Jesus called this universal power Father. I call this universal power Spirit. I and the Spirit are one. The Spirit in me, that does the work. Of mine own self, I can do nothing. Which is not exactly true. Of my own self, what I am called to be is the channel for that Spirit. I can go to that Spirit and I can say, I want to do all of the good that I can do. Guide me. Guide me. And then then the universe will proceed to present opportunities for me to practice the good. And the universe will proceed to channel all of this power for good through me. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to recognize that the power comes through us, not from us. Therefore, when we are exhausted, and I am not telling you not to go rest. I am absolutely saying if you are exhausted, go and rest. But I'm also reminding you, if you are exhausted, plug in. Plug in to the inexhaustible power that you were made from and by and for. Activate your Christ consciousness and recognize that you are a divine channel. You and the Spirit are one. That's the mission. Recognize who you are. You are a divine channel for all of the good that the world can do, can have done. That is who you are. All right. Mission. Got it. The other thing is, because I did mention spiritual practice, that we are all practitioners, I'm going to remind you that as a spiritual practice, one of the spiritual practices that I'm a big believer in, because it is absolutely self-care, is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself. I recommend this spiritual practice because you deserve your own love, you deserve your own kindness, you deserve your own compassion. I recommend it also because when you practice on yourself, one, you are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. And two, you create a bank. You create a bank of extra love, extra kindness, extra compassion. You also plug into, which is the whole point of today's reading, the inexhaustible source of love, kindness, and compassion. You are always going to meet people who need a little extra. Sometimes you are the person who needs a little extra. Practice, practice, practice. Because practice makes permanent. So practice on yourself. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. And it looks as simple as taking a deep breath before you speak. When you take that deep breath, you can ask yourself, is this the most loving, kind, compassionate way I can say this? And then check yourself. It also looks like taking a nap. It looks like taking a walk. It looks like taking a day off. It looks like speaking your truth. It looks like saying yes. It also looks like saying no. Because I'm not going to say yes to everything. Absolutely not. That is not loving, kind, or compassionate to you or anybody else. And no is a complete sentence. As women, we have a tendency to explain ourselves when we say no. Well, we don't have to. We can simply say no. It is also, because I say it's a spiritual practice of taking self-care, it is also the spiritual practice of making room for joy. No matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, you deserve joy. Everybody deserves joy. Absolutely. And we need to make room for that too. It is a quality of God. Therefore, it is a quality that we are born with. And sometimes that looks like eating dessert first. And sometimes it looks like other things. But what it is a reminder is that our life is a special occasion. We are made by God, of God, for God. That is a special occasion. It means don't save the good stuff. We may only pass this way once. We don't know for sure. Don't waste the opportunities. So, make room for joy. Take care of yourself and make room for joy. All right. I also encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you today. Today, it was a glorious bike ride. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. Your brain will work better when it is well hydrated. And sometimes when we think we're hungry, we're not actually hungry. We're thirsty. And besides, when you're drinking water and going to the bathroom a lot, keeps you out of a whole lot of trouble. So, I also encourage you to get early in your day bright light. Whenever your day starts, especially if you get up before the sun, to get that early in your day bright light, that early in the day the blue light actually, which resets the hormones. It's called a circadian rhythm, and it is definitely about managing that natural balance. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. So please, early new day, bright light. And if the sun is not out, because yeah, it could rain all week this week, we don't know, artificial light will help. So just bright light, bright light. And then my quote from Ernest, my favorite quote: open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you, you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay? You heard the reading today. The good comes through us. The good comes through us. So when we open the windows of our soul, when we accept that heaven is a conscious state of mind, it's a state of consciousness, it's a state of mind, it means that we create it for ourselves. Nobody can do it for us. They can show us their examples. Nobody can do it for us. It really is a superpower. It's a state of grace and a superpower. And as divine channels, it is our right, and I would say to some degree, our obligation. We want to create a world that works for everybody. The best thing we can do is learn where heaven is and learn how to create it for ourselves. When we learn it's a state of mind, it's a state of consciousness. When we learn we can create it for ourselves, it ceases to be a place and can become any place. And potentially every place. Yep. So, and again, I go back to the practice. Practice, practice, practice. All right. And you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. Okay. I am at the social media part. I'm going to remind you we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. Oh, which reminds me, I need to email that to Jesse. If you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on the constant contact, and the hot links in the constant contact are hot. If it says click here now, it will take you right to the information you want or the person that can help you get it, i.e. our soul sessions. I'm particularly proud of our soul sessions on YouTube. So when you click here now, it takes you right to that playlist. There's all kinds of wonderful content. You need to be inspired. Go watch that. Go watch that. Okay. Yes. And the website now, if you click on the Sunday Talks on the website, it takes you right to the YouTube channel. Super cool. Okay. And the Sunday service is up. I went ahead and invested the money in a good video editing app that I think we're going to be able to get some content up that we hadn't been able to up to this point. So I'm very excited about that. Yes, I know, more work on my part, but that's okay. I got time. I guess I'm at the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day, a Monday, a take care of business day, a get stuff done day, a know who you are day, a recognizing where the power comes from day, a take a rest if you need it day, a plug in to the infinite source day, a check into the source of your own being day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a divine spark, a brilliant light. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. That is what the reading today said. You are God in action. You are spirit in motion. You are a divine channel for all of the good that can happen in this world. Know who you are. Practice who you are. Take care of yourself. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I should be back with you around, I know I'm hitting 9:15 now. It just works better in my schedule. So between 9 and 9:15 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.